Mario Party video game from Wikipedia, the free online encyclopedia at en.wikipedia.org. Mario Party is a party video game developed by Hudson Soft and published by Nintendo for the Nintendo 64. It was released in Japan on December 18, 1998, in North America on February 8, 1999, and in Europe and Australia on March 9, 1999. The game was targeted at a young audience. Mario creator Shigeru Miyamoto served as development supervisor. It received mostly positive critical reception for its multiplayer mode, concept, and music, disapproval of its slow pacing, and mixed reviews of its graphics. It is the first installment in the Mario Party series, followed by Mario Party 2 in 1999, also for the Nintendo 64. The game received its first official re-release on the Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack on November 2nd, 2022. Section 1. Gameplay. An image accompanies this section of the article with the caption, "The gameplay of Mario Party is divided between traditional board game action," on the top, and a variety of mini-games that take place between turns on the bottom. For example, Shy Guy says. Mario Party is a party video game featuring 6 playable characters: Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, Yoshi, Wario, and Donkey Kong. In the game's framed story, Mario and his friends argue about which of them is the superstar, a figure upon whom the entire world can rely. To settle their dispute, they set out for adventure to determine which of them is most worthy of the title. The gameplay is presented in the form of a traditional board game and includes 6 game board maps themed after each of the playable characters. 2 additional board maps become available later in the game. Mario Party includes multiplayer compatibility. Each game on the board map consists of 4 players, including at least 1 human player and up to 4. Any character who is not controlled by a human will instead be controlled by the game as a computer-controlled character. The skill level of the computer-controlled characters can be individually adjusted between easy, medium, or hard. After the player and board map have been determined, the player chooses how long the board map game will last. Light play consists of 20 turns. Standard play consists of 35, and full play consists of 50 turns. Upon starting a board, players each hit a dice block to determine turn order, with the highest number going first on each turn, while the lowest number goes last. The goal of Mario Party is to collect the most stars within the allotted amount of turns. Stars must be purchased from Toad with coins, which can be earned through a selection of one of 50 mini-games that are played once at the end of each turn. The first player initiates a turn by rolling a dice block that determines how many spaces they will advance on the board, ranging from 1 to 10. Each board map has a variety of spaces. Plain, blue, and red spaces cause the player who lands on them to respectively gain or lose 3 coins. The amount of coins is doubled to 6 in the final 5 turns. Blue spaces labeled with a star will initiate a single-player minigame. Blue exclamation mark spaces result in a chance time game in which selected characters must give or exchange coins or stars. The player who landed on the space is given 3 blocks to hit, determining which character and prize will be involved. Green question mark spaces result in an event occurring on the board. Each board features different events, which could help or hinder certain players. Red spaces marked with the insignia of Bowser's head will cause Bowser to appear and hinder the player's progress. Blue spaces labeled with a mushroom give players a chance to either take another turn right away or lose their subsequent turn. Aside from Toad, other characters on the map include Boo, Koopa Troopa, and Bowser. Boo can steal coins or a star from another player on behalf of any player who passes him. Stealing coins is free, but stealing a star costs 50 coins. Koopa Troopa is stationed at the starting point of board maps and can give 10 coins to each player who passes him. Bowser will inconvenience players who pass him by forcefully selling a useless object to them. On some boards, Toad's location will change after he sells a star. After all 4 players have made a movement on the board, a minigame will be initiated. The type of minigame that is played is determined based on the color of space that each player lands on. Players that have landed on a green space will be randomly assigned to blue or red status before the minigame is selected. If all players have landed on the same color of space, a 4-player minigame is played. Other color variations result in either a 1 versus 3 or a 2 versus 2 minigame. The specific minigame is then selected via a roulette. Minigame titles are normally highlighted in green, though some titles are highlighted in red. The winner of any given minigame receives coins, and in red highlighted games, the losers will lose coins. Another turn is initiated following the end of a minigame, and the process is repeated until the allotted number of turns has been completed. After the end of the last turn, the winners of 3 awards are announced, with each winner receiving 1 additional star. The first 2 awards are given to the players who collected the most coins in minigames and throughout the board game map, and the third is given to the player who lands on the most question mark spaces. The winner of the game, titled the Superstar, is then determined by the number of total coins and stars collected by the player. If 2 or more characters have acquired the same number of coins and stars, the winner is determined by the roll of a dice block. Subsection 1. Other modes. The game's main menu includes a mushroom bank, at which coins received by the human player during gameplay are deposited. The mushroom bank will initially carry 300 coins. Coins can be used to purchase minigames at the minigame house, which can then be played at any time outside of normal board games. The minigame house includes a minigame stadium mode, in which 4 players compete on a special board game consisting only of blue and red spaces. Coins are neither gained nor lost from these spaces, and coins are only earned by winning minigames. The winner of Minigame Stadium is determined by whoever accumulates the highest number of coins by the completion of the allotted turns. Coins can also be used at the main menu's mushroom shop, where items can be purchased and stored at the mushroom bank. These items can be toggled on or off for use during games, where they will be randomly taking effect when any character rolls the dice block. Such effects include special dice blocks with only high or low numbers. Other items remove Koopa Troopa and Boo from the game. The game also includes a single-player minigame island mode, in which one human player must play through each minigame. The player has 4 lives and progresses through a world map, with the completion of each minigame, while losing a minigame results in the loss of a life. If the player loses all lives, the game ends, and the player must resume from the last save point. If the player completes all of the minigames on Minigame Island, up to 3 bonus minigames are unlocked. Section 2. Reception. Mario Party received generally favorable reviews according to the reviewer aggregator website Metacritic. Critics considered Mario Party much more enjoyable when playing with other people through the game's multiplayer option. Joe Fielder of GameSpot said, "The games that are enjoyable to play in multiplayer are nowhere near as good in the single-player mode. Really, it's that multiplayer competitive spark of screaming at and or cheering for your friends that injects life into these often simple little games, and without it, they're just simple little games." Pierce Schneider of IGN took a similar stance, saying that it was the interaction between players rather than the introduction of the game that made Mario Party fun. James Bottorff of the Cincinnati Enquirer wrote, "Playing by yourself requires you to sit through the painfully slow moves of each of your computer opponents." Dr. Moo of Game Revolution wrote that playing alone is terribly boring, and realistically, scrounging up 4 players to play Mario Party is harder than it sounds. He added that the game had great intentions but unsatisfying delivery, calling it a tedious and often frustrating experience. Reviewers for Game Informer wrote negatively about Mario Party and its minigames. Scott Allen Marriott of Allgame was also dissatisfied with most of the minigames and criticized the random luck involved. He stated that Mario Party had a good concept but was somewhat disappointing, concluding that most players would be unsatisfied with the short minigames and simple gameplay. The music was praised, although the graphics received a mixed reception. Critics believe the game would have appealed to children. Electronic Gaming Monthly authors gave the game individual score of 8.5, 8.5, 8.5, and 9 each, totaling 8.625 out of 10. In Japan, Famitsu's standard quadrant of reviewers scored it an 8, an 8, a 7, and an 8, totaling of 31 out of 40. During the 3rd Annual Interactive Achievement Awards, the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences nominated Mario Party for the Console Children's Family Title of the Year award, which was ultimately given to Pokémon Snap. Within the first 2 months of its US release, Mario Party was among the top 5 most rented video games. It was also the 4th best-selling video game in April of 1999. Section 3. Hand Injury Complaints. In Mario Party, certain minigames, like Castaways and Tug of War, require rotation of the Nintendo 64's controller's analog stick at top speed. Some players reported getting blisters, friction burns, and lacerations from rotating the stick with their palms instead of using thumbs because of the uncomfortable design of the analog stick, and it is faster to beat the minigames that way. Although no lawsuits were filed, around 90 complaints were received by New York's Attorney General Office, and Nintendo of America eventually agreed to a settlement, which included providing gloves for injured players and paying the state's $75,000 legal fees. At the time, providing an estimated 1.2 million gloves could have cost Nintendo up to $80 million. Because of this, Mario Party was not re-released for the Virtual Console on the Wii and the Wii U, with Mario Party 2 being released instead. The game would not be re-released until November 2nd of 2022 via the Nintendo Switch Online service. Mini-games using stick rotation returned in Mario Party Island Tour. In Mario Party Superstars, a disclaimer is placed over the rules screen of the two minigames Castaways and Tug of War that use stick rotation, warning players not to use the palms of their hands to turn the stick to avoid both hand injury and stick damage. A similar warning appears for the Nintendo Switch Online version of Mario Party when starting up the game. This sound file and all text in the article are licensed under the Creative Commons Attribution Sharealike 3.0 Unported license. This audio file was recorded on 16th of February, 2024.